I don't have one set beer that I could be set on a desert island with for the rest of my life. I'd rather have no beer at all than be set with just one, because I'd probably get sick of it and hate it for the rest of my life.
Craft brewing as an industry is really interesting. We get these really intelligent, really creative people, and I see again and again across the state guys out there that are making fantastic beers and that really are putting a lot of energy and time and money back into their communities.
When I was growing up, it was all like Coors Light, Bud Light, Budweiser, and I moved out to Colorado, and it was just like an explosion. Like, wow, I didn't know beer could ever taste like this.
The ball just started rolling with craft beer, and we've reached critical mass, and it's, in my opinion, the best place in the country to come and ride a bicycle and have beer afterwards.
The people that live in this state are becoming much more aware of microbrews and aware of craft beer in general. Even though we mass produce these large quantities of sort of, you know, standard beer, we have all these other microbreweries and craft beers all over the place. And I think it's just the variety of different breweries all over, and the people that are sort of starting to discover it finally. We have a great culture for it.
The way that we brew is more from an artistic point of view. A lot of breweries really approach beer as like for volume or for production, whereas we try to stay true to like how we feel about beer and the culture behind it.
The neat thing about Colorado, I think, is that there's, of these 100 plus craft breweries in the state, they're all doing different things. It's not a monoculture of breweries. You're going to find some awesome West Coast style beers. You're going to find something in between. You're going to find some East Coast style IPAs and all sorts of things in between.
Every place you go, you know, people are putting their heart into it and trying to make the best beer possible.
It's like each brewery has one beer that I like a whole lot, so I don't know that there's one brewery I like in particular, but I appreciate a lot of the good stuff everyone's doing.
People just love it, and they're so happy to be able to drink a beer that tastes great and improve their karma at the same time.
There's 4 ingredients to a beer, and it's water, barley, yeast, and hops. In order to make beer, there has to be yeast, and that's going to make alcohol.
We're taking things that have maybe been done before in one way, shape, or form, be it an old world English style IPA or a Belgian style lambic beer, but we're taking a very uniquely American attitude to it. We're using really ingenious methods. We're amping up the flavors. We're getting more of these flavors. You know, another American attitude. You know, we want it and we want more of it is a very American thing.
Everything we do, even if it's light, if it's dark, we put 100% into it. Nothing's half-assed here.
This is a brew house. This is where the actual beer is made and fermented. Basically what I've got behind me is a kettle and a mash tun. And within that kettle we mix barley and grist, sometimes oats, wheat, spelt, rye, with water, specifically water. And what happens is this chemical process, a couple different chemical processes happen here. And what we're really trying to do is get the sugars out of those grains. When we get those sugars, we collect them like you would in a pot of coffee. You cool it down with a heat exchanger, and then you knock it out into one of these fermenters and add yeast. Fermentation happens, then you've got beer.
The beers that I brew that are my recipes, they're gonna be the way that I think about flavors. I'm a culinary arts student, I'm a chef, so I'm always thinking about the way that the different ingredients taste individually and how they affect the flavor at the end. I always think of it more like cooking and like doing food than I do I don't know how other people think about it, I guess. Maybe ratios, or maybe my dad's an engineer, so he thinks of everything like numbers.
This is all the passion back here. This is the art. This is where it's created. This is where you're just going to see a whole lot of really cool ideas happen back here.
I just get to express myself and then have people come in and give me their hard-earned money for something that I put my sweat into, and blood sometimes. And I don't know, that's just really nice to have somebody say, here's my hard-earned money for something that you put your hard work into.
We just try and make great beer for really great customers, and they keep coming back for more and giving us support for the new things we try, so we keep trying new things.
Don't pay attention to outside forces. Pay attention to your inner self, use your own creativity and your own palate, and make things that you think taste really good.
The one beer that I'd say this pub is really most well known for is our Saison. And every time we brew that beer, we change the recipe every single time, and that's called Farmhouse. And that's really traditional. It's going back to like the 1800s in Belgium on that beer. You grab whatever ingredients are coming off the farm that day, and that's what you use to make a recipe with. So it's very artistic and very challenging.
Put in the time, put in the extra effort, you know, bring back old styles, create new styles, like make beer that we love, make beer that we want everyone to love.
It's starting with the small batches, making sure beer tastes good, not just appeal to the masses, that you can sell it, that it tastes good and it's interesting and it's made with quality ingredients, and getting the process down and really understanding all the different steps of the brewing process.
I did microbiology in college, and I did it specifically because of beer. I really just fell in love with beer, the culture of beer, you know, and it just fit with the science that I was studying.
We technically work long hours. You might work 70-hour weeks, but it's only about 20 or 30 hours of that, which is actually feels like work. The rest of it is, you know, we're just loving life.
Bristol Brewing or any of our colleagues in the Colorado craft beer industry could have chosen to do any number of things with their lives, and once they made the decision to become brewers, they could have made decisions to do any number of things with their beers. But I think across the state you see these really phenomenal, fantastic, cutting-edge beers that are just really, we're at the top of our game. Colorado craft beer is the best craft beer in the country, I believe. We don't take shortcuts. We use the finest ingredients. We're doing it by hand. And we could make more money if we cut more corners, but that's not what it's about.
The situation that the beer is enjoyed in, you know, sitting around with good friends and having a good time, and, you know, sitting down and enjoying yourself, not just running out and getting smashed off a 30-pack something, you know, but actually sitting down, enjoying a good meal with good food and sitting around having good conversation with people, you know, really enjoying life. We all just do it for the love of beer, I guess.